All right, so here's our Day68 LightString class. This is totally unrelated to the light.equals problem that you have already done, I hope. I ask you to write a LightString class. So let's go down here and say class LightString. And then I told you there's one private variable, private string. I'm going to call it lights. And then we're going to write a constructor that takes one integer, public LightString int n. And here we say lights equals new string n. That finishes making the string array that has the right number of elements. This is how you have to do it with an array. You declare the array up to here as a private string array called lights, and then down here in the constructor you say lights equals new string array with that length. That way each one can have its own length, which is different. Anyway, this is also just the way you have to do it. And now we have to assign an R, G, or B randomly to every element in here. So I'm going to do a for loop. Int I equals 0, I less than lights. Well, I could say less than n because I know that's how long it is. Y plus plus. And then right here, we're going to say, I'm going to make a random number int R equals int math.random times 3. That'll give me, when this gets inted out, that'll give me 0, 1, or 2. So I'm going to say if R equals 0, then we're going to say lights I equals R. And if R equals 1, we're going to make it equal G. And if R equals 2, I'm going to make it equal to a B. We could have made this an if else statement, but this just seemed easier in the moment. It's only going to trigger one of these no matter what. Okay, so that's all that we have to do when we create it. We have to set it to the length that got sent over. That's what we did right here. And then we went through the whole thing and did a random number. And if it was 0, we're just randomly distributing things, the R, G, and B. And then we have to do a toString, public string toString. ToString is supposed to return a text version of this. So I'm going to make a string called temp and make it equal to nothing. So that's not a space, that's just empty quotes. And then I'm going to do a for loop int I equals 0, I less than. And here we have to say lights.length. You can't say n here because n doesn't exist in this method. If you're not sure what I mean by that, talk to me about it because that's pretty important. We're going to say temp plus equals lights I plus a space because I want a space between each one. And then up here, let's create one object just to test it. Light string x equals new light string 10 system.out.println x. So this is just a test. This is not the assignment, but I wanted to make sure that what I wrote is working, and this is a great way to test it. We should get a, oh, I did all this and I forgot to return temp. See over here, it says missing return statement. So I added that. This is why we're testing. I wanted to test before I added the whole runner code. Okay, so there you go. GRRG, it's random. Let's run it again and we'll get a 10 element long printout. That'll be different. Yeah, it's different. Okay, so it says after you've written the LightString class, up in the main class's main method, create an array list, add 10 LightString objects, each with a randomly set length from 5 to 20 elements long. So we're going to remove my test code because that wasn't part of the assignment. And right here, we are going to say array list LightString. The lights equals new array list LightString. I'm going to do a for loop. Int I equals 0, I less than 10, plus plus. I had a timer going off. Got to go somewhere in 2 minutes. I think I can finish. I'm going to say the lights dot add new light string. I'm going to add a bunch of light strings. And in here, I'm adding some spaces so you can see very clearly what's going on. We're going to get a random number, int math.random times. Now I wanted between 15 and 20. So 20 minus 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So we have to go multiply by 16, and we have to say plus 5. So this will create and add 10 light string objects to this array list, and they'll be between 5 and 20 in length, and it's random. And then I asked you to use an enhanced for loop to print them all. And so these are light string objects. I'm going to do capital L and the lights. And we don't need further brackets. We're just printing system.out.println L. So do it. We should have 10, like on my example, random lengths, random RGB order. Run it again. Something totally different. There we have it. So can almost see the whole thing at once. Quite, but there you go. Here's the main, and then here's the class. All right. All the best.